Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Just want to warmly welcome Iksvaku Prabhu. We're very, very grateful to have him. He's visiting us from Mayapur. I had the opportunity to actually meet him in Mayapur last year in October, I think, where he did this Vaishnava Life Counseling course. I attended the pilot course over there. And he's come all the way from there. Over the weekend, he's been doing this Vaishnava Life Counseling course in Chicago. And some of the devotees present here have attended it. And I spoke with some of them last evening, and they very, very much appreciated it. So Iksvaku Prabhu, he's originally from Ecuador, South America, and he's a disciple of His Holiness Jaipataka Maharaj. And he's currently serving in Mayapur as the outreach coordinator for ISKCON's congregational ministry. He had joined ISKCON in 1983, and he assisted in establishing temples there until he moved to Mayapur in 87. He has served in different capacities, including as a teacher, a temple president, a preacher, editor, and so on. Many roles he's played. And for over a decade, he's also served in Perth, Australia, where he helped develop educational programs for the congregation as well as the new devotees. And he holds a social work degree, majoring in counseling and community development, and has many years of experience as a professional counselor in Australia. So this evening, Prabhu will be presenting Gita for everyone. So he's been doing this with the Congregational Development Ministry, and he's come up with these short, like 10, 15-minute summaries of each chapter. I'm not sure exactly what his focus will be. Maybe he'll do an overview today, I'm not sure. I'll let him introduce the rest of his presentation. But we're so grateful to have you, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you very much for coming here and giving us your association.
Thank you so much. Such a warm welcome from everyone. It's so nice to be in ISKCON land. Prabhu said this is Chicago land, right? It's nice to be in ISKCON land. This is an embassy of the spiritual world, Srila Prabhupada said. I don't feel separation from Mayapur. The deities coincidentally are called Haribol. So this is home. Sorry. Okay, so tonight we have a a special program, special presentation. It's Labor Day, no? It's Labor Day. So Labor Day, you're not supposed to work, right? So the intention of Labor Day is to make it easy, make it easier. So we have a program called Gita for Everyone. And Gita for Everyone means that. Gita for everyone, not only for the pandits, or the sadhus, or the sannyasis, or the paka, Prabhus or Matajis, for everyone. Srila Prabhupada wanted Gita for everyone. Everyone should have oxygen, everyone should have sunlight, everyone should have Gita. That's the idea. There are predictions that tell that one day, everyone, or majority of people will be Krishna conscious. Can we vision that? Can we envision that? There will be one day where everyone will be Krishna conscious. Are we correct? Yes? Prabhu? Yeah? Yes? I'm just checking. I'm just checking. So one day, everyone will be Krishna conscious. So how that's going to happen? By making available this product, right? Yesterday was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day, our congregational acharya. Today is Haridas Thakur disappearance day, right? So we are very fortunate. Today is a very auspicious day. So tomorrow is Bhadra, right? Bhadra. So the Bhagavatams are there. So it's very auspicious. Everything, it's astrology is working our way. So, what is this Gita for everyone? We have a claim that is the simplest, we say study, but even the word study is like, you know. So when we took the study word out, is the simplest way to understand Gita. Simplest. That's our claim. Satisfaction guaranteed. In ISKCON, we research practically every study program that it's out there, all the material that we could get a hold of, every book that in ISKCON had the word Gita, I have it in our bookshelf. And we thought that we have to bring it in such a way, such a simple format, that anyone can do it. And when I say everyone, I say majority of devotees, majority of people. And there is a common factor that majority of people suffer from. Let's talk, Maharaj told me, don't talk Mayapur, talk Midwest. Ramapat Swami. Talk Midwest. And all of you are Midwesterners. What is a common issue that you all have? Let's say to do more service, to study the Shastra, to chant more, to do many, many things. What's a common challenge that you have? Yes. You see, you know it all. Chicago, every time I say something, the first person gives the right answer. Lack of time, no time. Right? Everything is time. So, this program is designed for majority of people. Majority of people have lack of time. Let's be honest. Yeah? You know how much or how long a typical Hare Krishna program lasts? We'll make a little survey. How long? How many hours? 3 hours. 3 hours. Correct. 3 hours. 3 hours. All your answers are perfect. 3 hours. That's a lot of time. 3 hours. So if we want everyone to come for 3 hours, that's a lot of time. So we have made this program very short so people can say, I can come for 1 hour or even less. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to present the Bhagavad Gita. Everyone knows what the Bhagavad Gita is, right? Everyone, yeah? Everyone knows. And it's a book that the extended version, it's around 1,000 pages. So it's quite a thick book, right? And the thicker it is, the less motivation we have to read it. That's generally, yeah, you're nodding away, right? So tonight, we're going to try to do a, what do you call it? Some magic. You know, I can sense, I don't read mine, so I can sense that we all have this, how do you say it? Reluctance? Reluctance? Prabhu is going to get us to read, you know. But what the magic that we will try to do tonight is that at the end of the session, you would have at least a little bit more desire to read Bhagavad. I'm not saying that you don't have, but because of lack of time, correct? It's hard, isn't it? You see the Bhagavatam there, and it looks so nice, like candy, you know, with the wrap and everything, you know, and it's auspicious. But then, to open it and to, you know, delve into it, that's a different story. Right? It's like cold water, right? It's nice to look at it, but to jump in it, you know, you have to see the value of it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to summarize, as Mataji said, overview or so, the Bhagavad Gita in, until what time do we have? 8:30. Okay, so we have less than 1 hour or so. So that's what we're going to do. Have you ever done that? No? Okay, so let's go in. It's going to be a quick ride. Who was in India apart from my son and I lately? Has just come back from India? Anybody? Prabhu, when did you come back? January. Okay, quite some time ago. You also? You were there, yeah, we met in Vrindavan, in Mayapur. Right. I'm going to refer to something, I hope nobody gets offended, okay? Indian driving, it's a little crazy, unique. YouTube, Indian driving, you can have a lot of fun, okay? Only in India, yeah? And the most amazing thing for me, at least, is that nobody minds. That's okay. Cow, buffalo, dogs, you know, big trucks. Never mind, it's all good. It's all good. Hare Krishna, no problem. Yeah? People crossing red lights, everything, you know. Police with big sticks. Nah, it's chaos. Transcendental chaos. But what I'm going to is that the driving, how people drive, they're so fast, so, you know, so daring. Somebody told me, how many million demigods are? Forgot now. Huh? 33 million, yeah? Okay. Somebody told me, one devotee told me this. You know the proof that there are 33 million? That 33 million demigods exist? The way that Indians drive in India. Because I don't know how they don't kill each other all the time. You know, you just get so close. It's amazing. Just drive from Calcutta to Mayapur and prove the point. It's crazy. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little Indian driving. We're going to cover a lot of distance very, very quick. So you have to... the first time I took my son, Gopal, where is he? Yeah. The first time I took my son, Gopal, around 10 years ago, to India, we sat together in a taxi in Chennai, where our pujari is from. And we went quickly from the airport to a devotee's house because we had another flight to catch a few hours after, so he was taking us for lunch. And Gopal was excited. He was the little thing at that time. And he was so excited. First, because there's no seat belts. And we were going, this is 10 years ago, so it was an old, one of the yellow taxis. And you know, they had the, I don't know, it was plastic or leather or whatever it is, the seats. So every curve, we were going from one side to the other. You know? So we drove, and we were like, jaldi, jaldi, taratari, taratari, quick, quick, you know, because we had to go lunch, and then we had to come back, and the whole thing. And then when we arrived to the devotee's place, he said, Dad, this is amazing. It's better than any movie, than any theme park. You know? We were just, you know? So tonight's going to be a little bit like that. So you are not allowed to doze off, okay? It's Labor Days, you know, just have to sit tight. So this presentation actually takes around 3 days, right? 3 days. And generally we do it for devotees who are presenting Gita in different places like that. And then we go through learning objectives and all the boring parts. You know all these things. You're all working out there. And so you know what I'm talking about, you know. So we're going to skip all that, right? Remember, Indian driving, okay? This is the title. And I'm just going to refer to maybe one of them. And this is what I wanted to entice you with. At the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna offers 3 benefits, 3 boons to those who present the Gita to others. Okay? The first boon is guaranteed pure devotional service. I'm selling the idea now. Okay? The second one is that at the end of life, you will go to Him. Okay? And the third one is that there will be no servant more dear to Him, to Krishna, than him or her that present this knowledge to others. Okay? You can Google it, or you can open the book and check. Okay? So those are the 3 benefits. All right? Now, this is all the boring part that I'm going to skip, because today is Labor Day, so we cannot make you work. So what we're going to do is, if I'm selling apples, what generally you would do, I don't know if you do that. Do you have street vendors here? It's like 20-something years I haven't been in America, so, but, you know, you go in India or South America or places like that, you know, you want to sell, what they do, they cut a piece and then they give you. Right? Sometimes they give you it's a grape or something, a lychee or something. And you just take, no problem, no problem. It's not they are generous, they want you to buy the kilo of apples or whatever else you're selling. So, Bhagavad Gita, remember, thick book, around 1,000 pages, etc. So what we're going to do is going to give you a few bites of the Gita. Huh? Not only a few bites, actually we're going to go around the apple and we're going to give you a good bite. And I'm going to reveal my intention here. This is called persuasion. I want to encourage you to read Bhagavad Gita. Not once, not twice, for the rest of your life. Who says that? Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva tells Parvati, this is the one book that we need to achieve perfection. One book, Bhagavad Gita. Yes, we can say Srimad Bhagavatam and other books, but essentially Bhagavad Gita, it's spoken by the Lord Himself. Okay, so let's sit tight and let's see if we can make it in less than 1 hour. Okay, how many verses? 700 exactly? No. 702. Okay, anybody else? Who gives more? Who gives less? Just say it, no problem. It's holiday, it's allowed. Just, you know, things. 700, anybody? I was so skeptical when I read the Bhagavad Gita. My best friend gave me the book. It was a long holiday, just like today. You had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like that. Kind of 4 days, sort of off-ish. He gave me the book, and I said, well, what is this? And he told me, this is what he told me. This is the absolute truth. Okay? It was the abridged version, not even the full version. This is the absolute truth. Everything that you find here is absolutely true. The first thing I did, proud and arrogant and defiant as I am, and I was even worse, I went and I counted the number of verses in each chapter to see. Because Prabhupada says in the beginning, it says 700 or something. To see how many verses. And actually 700 exactly. So a lot of verses, 100 of verses. Every time you have a Gita class, how many verses you cover?
Maybe
One. Rare when you do two, or very rare if you do three. But generally it's one. So it will take you 700 sessions, give and take, to cover this. So we're going to do everything in one. Crazy proposal. You have 18 chapters. Yeah? 18 chapters. I was hearing one of my first Bhagavad Gita classes, and I wasn't in the ashram just yet. And then one of the devotees says, like Krishna says in chapter 23, and everyone just cracked up, you know. He had been 2 weeks in the movement. So 18 chapters, no one less or one more. So 18 chapters. So this is the trick. The trick is that we're going to shorten everything. Instead of 700 verses, we're barely going to refer to 21 verses. Okay? Instead of 18 chapters, we're going to refer to 3 sections. This is done by the acharyas, actually. I'm not making this up. 3 sections. Each section, okay, young crowd here. 18 divided, I'm going to put the young ones on the spot. 18 divided onto 3. 6. Thank you. American education. 6, exactly. Okay, 6. All right? So we have the first section, chapters 1 to 6. Okay? The second section, 7 to 12. And the third section, people are getting nervous. Without the computers and the smartphones, you know. Okay? 13 to 18. Now we don't have to think about 18 chapters. Let's think only 3 sections. Okay? Let's shorten, summarize things. Okay. We have the 3 sections. These are what the 3 sections talk about. Can we black out that? Okay, let me use another one. Bear with me. Sorry. It's just I have to. It's not working. Okay, so have you heard this before? Except the pandits in the room. It's not working. Have you heard this before? No? No? Okay. Not working. Again? What happened? Just put it again, play. Yeah, just put it. No, it's not working. Sorry. My trick failed me. Since I arrived in Chicago, I've been having some very interesting experiences. Yeah. Kishore Kishori, right? Kishore Kishori, the presiding deities. I think Kishore Kishori is very, very playful. You know, since the moment I arrived in Chicago, has been playing all kinds of tricks. All kinds. It's very, very playful. We couldn't find the devotee who came to pick us up. Then I made a vow, I'm not going to eat at night. Yeah. He was in the international terminal, I was domestic. Twice, 2 nights, I said, I'm not going to eat at night. Then Hemangi Mate comes with 2 smiling pieces of pizza. And then someone else with blueberry muffin. And the story goes on like that, you know. So, now these things doesn't want to work at all. You see? I'm telling you. So, let's see. There we go. Okay. Okay. What was the first section about? All about you. Okay. The second section? And the third section? Okay. Okay. So the first section. The first section is all about you. You can argue all what you want. I'm a trained counselor, so I love conflict. I love disagreement. Bring it on. Why is it all about you? I can prove to you that the first section is all about you, or all what you need to achieve perfection. All what you need to achieve perfection. Okay? So we're going to use a few tricks. Any teacher here? Any teacher? Mate? Yes, okay. Mate also? Premananda Mate? You're also teacher? 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 Yeah, teacher, yay! So we're going to use some teaching tricks, mnemonics and other things, to remember these sections. One is an example. Krishna uses examples or analogies, so it will stay. I'm going to say a few daring things, and I hope you don't mind. But the intention is that you remember these things for the rest of your life. Okay? And then you will think, oh, that crazy Prabhu from Latin America, he came and he said some wild things. And, well, whatever, you can, you know. But I want you to please remember these things for the rest of your life. I know, it's good. It's a good thing. The first section, chapters what? 1 to 6. Okay, we're going to use the following analogy. Prabhupada uses this analogy. In Mayapur, particularly, there's a lot of construction going on. And when you walk around, health and safety is not much the priority there. Yeah? Isn't it? Right? Beams hanging this way, people nailing things away, and you're driving, and water falling, and, you know, it's crazy. It happens, Prabhupada explains, that sometimes somebody gets their head hit with an accident or something, falls, and then what happens? Any doctor, nurses in the room? What happens? You suffer from amnesia. Amnesia means you forget. So our example is that, let's not say Mayapur because that may discourage you to go to Mayapur, but you're walking somewhere and something falls, Krishna forbids, and you forget everything. You forget who you are, you forget where you work. That happens. Mate, you're a nurse, right? No. Yes? Hey, remember. Right? You also are a nurse. Okay, both nurses. Acha. So sometimes that happens. Not only when something falls on your head, but you know, when they have blood transfusion and so many other things. People don't remember where they are, etc. So, our character in first section suffer from amnesia. You forgot what's your name, you forgot what's your job, what you work, what's your qualification. Very important, imagine. Indian people and Chinese people, according to studies, are those who take studies most seriously than anybody else. Imagine if you wake up and you don't know if you're an MBA, you're a this one, that one, all this. I get confused with so many acronyms. You forgot everything. Okay, you forgot everything. That's us in first section. So, what Krishna is going to do is going to tell you all what you need to become perfect, to become functional again. All right? So we're going to go through all the chapters, particularly the titles, and I will give you some verses so you can check if I'm making this up as I go. So the first section, I need help of some of the pandits here. What's the title of the first chapter? Serving the armies. You can see the smartphone is working hard. Smartphone is being smarter. First section is observing the armies. Okay, now I really need your, how do the computers, most of you are into computers? IT people, yeah? Okay, so what's the latest? It used to be Intel and dual core and quad core and all these things. I don't know what's the latest. It's hard to catch up. But I need all your, brain power to be here. So, first one is observing the armies. Who is observing the armies? Arjun. Thank you. It's amazing. Chicago, you always get it right. First answer, it's perfect. Arjuna is observing the army. Other people are observing the army, but mainly our interest is Arjuna. Arjuna is our character. He's observing the armies, and what happens after he observes the armies? Becomes depressed, and he starts doing what? Lamenting. So that's our word for chapter 1. Particularly for the sequence that we're going to draft here. Lamentation. Chapter 1, lamentation. Okay, every time you see a pharmacy, what chapter you should think of? Chapter 1. That's our chapter 1 right there. You see a hospital? Chapter 1. Okay, so next time you drive, you see chapter 1. Lamentation. Toothache, chapter 1. Okay? So, I could say other things, but I don't want to. Every time your wife says, we need to go shopping, chapter 1. Okay? So, this is mnemonics. So we will think of Gita, which is not different from Krishna, all the time. We have many, many of this. All right, so chapter 1, what's the word? Lamentation. Shopping centers, what did you say? Okay, lamentation. It's all about you. Chapter 1, lamentation. We have a bracket that says before, but I'll explain that later. So now, chapter 2. When we were coming in the country, a very relaxed custom officer asked me, so, what have you come to do here, Mr. Reynoso? Oh, okay, I come with my son. We came to visit Hare Krishna temple. Hey, he wasn't interested. Have a good stay. See you later. So what they look for, your identity. What's chapter 2 title? And mainly the content of chapter 2 talks about what? The most? The soul. And the soul is our identity. Your ID card, your passport, right? Your identity. It's about you. Your identity. Our identity. So very simple. The soul. Everybody knows that. Atma. Atma Gyan. Okay, chapter 3. When you have your passport or your license, I don't know the license here, but in Australia, but your ID card generally has your name. What else does it have? Huh? Date of birth, yes. What else? Address, yes. Anything else? Blood group. Occupation, does it have occupation? Does it have occupation? Not that one, okay. But sometimes the ID card has occupation, or some ID cards have occupation. So what's chapter 3 called? Karma Yoga. And karma in this case refers to? Let's not be philosophical, let's be Midwesterners, as Maharaj recommended. Action, work. Work. Why don't you have time? Because you have to go to work. Right? That's what generally you don't have time, because work. So chapter 3 reminds us what's our job, what's our duty, what's our work. Huh? Actually, Krishna here, it's making a job offer. Krishna says, text 9. Anyone has a Gita handy? Right there. No, you keep it. You're going to do the work. Labor Day. So you can check. Text 9. Krishna says, work for me. Okay? That's your duty. That's your job. Qualifications, we were saying, right? If I ask you, you don't have to even breathe, and you will know by heart exactly what your qualifications are. Right? Yes or no? Exactly. And all the S and M and B and A's and all that it goes there, yeah? Sometimes those visiting cards have so many of those, yeah? You need a glossary to understand what does it mean. But chapter 4 refers to your qualification. Your learning. Right? To do what? To achieve perfection. Let's remember that. To achieve perfection. You need to know who you are, where do you work, what's your qualification, right? What's your degree or whatever. Now, chapter 5, it's called Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Still, Alka-Seltzer, it's popular here. It used to be 20 odd years when I came. It's famous, yeah? Alka-Seltzer. You know when you take Alka-Seltzer because your stomach is a little upset? What happens after a while? What happens after a while, after you take your Alka-Seltzer and then, nurse? You feel relief, thank you. Yeah, it sounds like a line of an ad. You feel relief. So you have the before, you know, and then you have the after. So what happens in chapter 5? You took your Alka-Seltzer, which is chapter 2, 3, and 4. Now you know who you are. Now you know where you work. Now you know what your qualification is. What happens? That's the result. Our secretary, Prabhu, can you go please to the last verse of chapter 5? Okay? While you do that, have you seen those posters where you have the before and after? Yeah? You're there, okay. Yeah. Weight loss. Generally weight loss, the ladies more the weight loss, and generally the man you get the slim one and then they want to be buffed up. Yeah? That's before and after. You go to the pharmacy, yeah? And then you get the advertisement, the poster, before and after. No hair, yeah, that's a big one. I have seen it. In London, yeah, I saw, you know. Everywhere I saw this guy, you know. And then he's bald, and then 4 hairs, you know. So the before and after. The before and after. What happens when you read and apply chapter 2, 3, and 4? You get chapter 5. Right? Most of people here work, isn't it? And if not, your partner works. Yeah? Okay, let me give you a virtual exercise. I assume that when you get paid, it's not like in the old days that you have to go to the cashier and things like that. You know, most of the times your money will be deposited in your account. Is that what happens? Yes, correct. So you know exactly the day that the money will be deposited in your account? Yes? Right. So that day comes, right? And then you go and check, as you generally do. What is the feeling? What is the feeling when you see the money's there? It's not, it's not enough. Okay, let's do it the other way around. What would be the feeling if the money is not there? Shock. Okay. Okay, let's change it again. Okay, the internet was a little slow. It reloaded the page. The money's there. What is your feeling?
Pay the bills.
Huh? Pay the bills. Okay, but that's what you're going to do with it. I'm the feeling. Happy. Before happy. Even before. Relief again. Right? Relief. Peace. Okay? You are peaceful. Oh, the money came through. Okay. Life goes on. Can you please read the last verse of chapter 5? Campeón, get me a booklet. I don't know. If you speak Spanish, be my guest. No, just the translation. I tell you, you Chicago people are really special.
Okay. Sorry. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries.
Attain peace. That's what you feel when you get your check. That's when you feel when you apply chapter 2, 3, and 4. Now we know who we are. Now we know we have a job. Now we know we went through several years of painful study, and now I got my degree. My memory's back. I can be peaceful. I know I have a life, as they say in America. I have a life. That's the result of Krishna consciousness right there. And if you want to read the 29 verses, correct? 29 verses. All what you will find is a description of someone that's very, very satisfied. Okay? That's what it is. And if you don't have time to read 29 verses, just read the last one. Okay? Just the last one. Not always. This is a very strategic person here. Okay? But mostly yes. Mostly yes. Chapter 1, you can read the last one. Chapter 2, you have to dig somewhere in, in the beginning. Takes 11, 12, like that. Chapter 3, you can read the last one. It takes 9, better. Chapter 4 takes 34. 34. Who said 34? Matahi. Yes, you're on the ball. 34. Chapter 5, the last one. Okay, peace. Attains what? Peace. Gyata mam shanti richati. Chapter 6, what's called chapter 6? What's the name? Dhyana Yoga. Dhyana means meditation. You see, the thing is that we have to, if we want to help Prabhupada to make this knowledge available, we have to demystify it a little. Right? Some of the titles could be, a little scary. Nature, Enjoy, and Consciousness. That sounds like a theme park ride. Whoa, what does this mean? We have to demystify it. And it's our job if we want to give Gita for everyone. So chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. What is Dhyana Yoga? Dhyana means meditation. And what meditation means? Who has babies here? Who has really, you have? That's not really. How? 21? 18? 8? And 10. Acha. Okay. 21. I call my 26-year-old daughter baby, but she's not much of a baby now. If somebody has small babies, you don't have to go to a meditation seminar to meditate on your baby. Is that correct? The mothers, Indian mothers especially, right? Is your meditation, right? Is your meditation. I don't want to pollute the atmosphere because I can see that you are very, very advanced. But when the cricket is on, right? When the cricket is on, and India is playing Pakistan or England or Australia, it's like you have to, give a, headlock to your mind not to think of the cricket. At least you want to know how is it going or how it ended up. But something is dragging you, right? It's very difficult. So meditation happens naturally. Meditation, all what meditation means is just focus thinking, heightened form of thinking. That's meditation. So dhyana doesn't happen only with the yogis up in the Himalayas, right? Not with the ladies in the local gym. That's not meditation, that's something else. You know, when they say, I'm going to do yoga, that's something else. But meditation basically means thinking. So chapter 6, it's all about your thinking. It's all about your thinking. It's all about the mind and what happens when the mind goes this way, that way. Okay? It's all about your thinking. So, as you can see, all this section, it's about you. Your thinking. Anyone here that particularly devotes time and energy to these books here in Naperville? Naperville. Prabhu? You. Okay. So, if I tell any one of you, not only you, that I met you in India, right? We met in Vrindavan, in Mayapur. I met Mataji in Mayapur, the previous, right? Anyway. But we spent 10 days studying and doing the course. But if I say, Prabhu, I want to write a book about you. I'm a bit of a writer. And I want to interview you with my son, a couple hours, this and that. I'm going to put together a book about you. And then I called you after 6-8 months and I said, Prabhu, the book is ready. Would you be interested? Maybe. What does that tell about the personality? If someone is talking about ourselves, at least we want to know what in heavens someone wrote about me, isn't it? I wrote a book about you. Would you want to know at least what it's there? No, you don't. Someone told me this. I will buy all the copies and throw them. That's serious counseling right there. Deficit cycle. So, Bhagavad Gita is about you. This book is about you. Really? This book is about you. Is a trick, is a technique to get people's interest. Because it's true. You are mentioned there. It's for humanity at large, they say. Okay, so what's the example here in first section? What's example? The amnesia. Amnesia. Someone that has lost his or her memory, doesn't remember who they are, doesn't remember where they work, what's their job. Jai Radhamada. Do not remember what's their qualification. Do not remember what's the result that they are after. Right? They don't remember their way of thinking. Right? They cannot, they say, think straight. Right? That's how they say. You don't remember your way of thinking. You have lost everything. So Krishna, again here in chapter 6, just to finalize this section, he tells us the best way of thinking. The best thinker, the best way of thinking. Prabhu? Yeah. Okay. That's Krishna's opinion, not your opinion. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Sounded like you're agreeing with it. That's my opinion also. So Krishna we're making it simple. We have forgotten who we are. Right? So Krishna is explaining, Gita is explaining who we are. Yeah? What's our duty? What's our job? Right? What's our dharma? What's our qualification, or the needed qualification? The result we're after. Someone said happy. Prabhupada, Krishna explains in chapter 2 that before being happy, you need to be peaceful. You cannot be happy if you're not peaceful. Okay, so we have one word. What's the one word for this section? Amnesia. That's example. We have one word for each of the chapters. Lamentation, identity, duty, qualification. The result, peace. You can also. This is not set in stone. You can what do you call? Tailor it, personalize it, customize it. It's open for everyone. You're thinking, okay? Thinking. Chapter 6, thinking. Every time you have an issue with your mind, something, chapter 6. Anybody tells you, oh, Prabhu, my mind, chapter 6. Anything to do with the mind, chapter 6. Okay, so it's simple. It's like a GPS, in and out, zoom in, zoom out. Okay, we're running out of time. Too many jokes. So the second section, it's all about Krishna. Why? I want to know three things. I want to know, who am I? That's first section. Who am I? Second section, I want to know, where do I come from? What is the source of my existence? Okay? That's second section. That's why we're going to talk about Krishna, the source of everything. And the third thing is, I want to know where I'm going. I want to know where I'm going. Those are the three things. Who am I? Where do I come from? And where am I going? That's it. That's all Bhagavad Gita. So, second section. Now we're going to have to go a little bit faster, otherwise we won't make it. The title of chapter 7 is Knowledge of the Absolute. What does that mean? That sounds very philosophical. Knowledge of those. We will need an hour just to explain that. But let's just make it easy. First of all, let's remember, always an example. Each section has an example. The first section had the example of the amnesia. The second section has example of a job interview. Okay, it's a job interview. Remember the day when you went for your job interview? Right? The dreadful day, the dreadful morning. Yeah, you pray to all the gods. Right? Light incense. Right? Left, right, up, down, center, back, everywhere. Touch everyone's feet, all the devatas. Right? Cross all the fingers. Right? That was the day. That was the day. Your near future will be decided. Right? Remember that feeling? I remember the feeling. My last job. Right? So this is what's happening here. It's a job interview. And guess who is interviewing you? Krishna. So what the boss does when he comes into the office? Nowadays it's not the boss, it's the HR and someone. Yeah? Right. But let's say Krishna comes and interviews you. What's the first thing that he does? Chapter 7, was it? Knowledge of the Absolute. If you want to know this, those pandits, if you want to really know this, go and read the first 2 lines of the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna explains there what is absolute. The difference between absolute and God. God is the controller. Absolute is the controller plus energies, meaning you. This is the absolute truth. So the first thing that the boss do when he or she enters the room is what? Introduce himself or herself. And what do they generally say? Nicely, I am the boss here. I am the boss here. I'm in charge here. Yes or no? Now, why God it's called God? Why God is called the Absolute? I'm gonna, what is it, 30 verses? Where is Campion? Look for one of the booklets. Gopal, you have booklet? You're my assistant. Do your job. Earn your prasadam. Just take one and help us. 28, huh? Sure? It's 28. I'm getting rusted then. Huh? You're wrong. We have the solution for that. Everything that is happening for a reason. 30, okay. Okay. So, do you have time to read 30 verses? Yeah? You, yes.
Yes, I'm ready.
You're ready.
I got my glasses now.
You want to show off. Okay, we're going to make your life easier. Instead of reading 30 verses where Krishna is saying, I am the boss, this is our word, the boss. Okay, remember chapter 7, the boss. I'm going to summarize why Krishna is the boss. Because of 3 things. And this is something that Prabhupada said. But as I said, we have to make it for everyone, easy for everyone. There are 3 reasons why Krishna is the boss. First of all, Sanskrit word, let's make it a little authoritative. I sound like knowledgeable. Adibhuta. Adibhuta means I am the owner of everything. If somebody tells you, look, all this, I'm the owner of everything, you think, oh, this is the what do you call? Malik in Bengali, yeah? The boss. Boroman, the big guy. He's the boss because he's the owner of everything. Second, he's the manager of everything. Adidaiva. He's the manager of everything. And thirdly, what the boss generally do? No, we said that. He's the owner of everything. He enjoys everything. Thank you. Yeah? Otherwise, what kind of boss is that? You know, he gets the better payment. He gets the profits, etc. So he's the owner of everything, controller of everything, and enjoyer of everything. And you can find that in the ending verse. Okay? So you're making your life easier. Text 30, you can check that. Okay? He says it in more elaborate words, but I'm just putting it in a Midwestern term. The boss, 3 things. Owner of everything, controller of everything, enjoyer of everything. All right? That's our chapter 7. Chapter 8. What's chapter 8 called? Attaining the Supreme. Attaining the Supreme, after you had the introduction, the boss comes in, generally has a bigger watch than you, a better suit, tie, and the whole persona is, you know, he's the boss. You can tell. All right? You cannot sometimes. Sometimes you cannot. Okay, but that day you can. Okay, because he's sitting there and it's up to him to give you the job or not. You definitely know that he's the boss. The next thing that happens is that he's going to offer you something. He may have many questions, but you have one question. What's your one question? Your job interview. How much you going to get? What are you going to get in return? Right? What are you going to get in return? So in chapter 8, he teaches us, Krishna teaches us what you're going to get. Now, everyone gets some payment, right? We all get salaries and things like that. You get different terms and conditions. You get different benefits. But here, Krishna is going to make an offer that no one can compete with. And this is an offer. He gives you an eternal life insurance. Right? I know that now the workforce is very mobile. People work for some years and then they move. And then they move, right? That's the way things are. But before, people used to work 30 years, 40 years, and then they were retired. Right? If somebody retires, what happens? What do they give you? They give you a pension, they give you, in India they say gratuity. I don't know if they use that, gratuity. They give you maybe a pen with your name or, frame certificate or something, yeah? But basically they are telling you, bye-bye. We don't want you anymore. Don't come around. You are useless for us in here. Yeah, just go. Just go. Okay? We had enough of you. Krishna offers you something that no boss will offer you. He offers you an eternal life insurance. He says, the last one again, you're going to get everything, right? But more than that, imagine if your big boss, the owner of the company that you're working for, comes and says, you're going to get all the benefits, everything. But not only that, when you are old and dying, I'm going to take care of you. Who offers you that? No one will offer you that. I can guarantee you that. So Krishna is offering us that in chapter 8. And he says, Vedesu, Jagyesu, all what you're going to get if you read the Vedas, all what you're going to get if you do tapasya, if you do jagyas, sacrifice, everything you're going to get with the job I'm offering you. But on top of that, can you please read just the last line? No, the last line. We are making it easier. It's just one line, the whole verse?
No, it's a comma.
It's a comma, okay, after the comma.
And at the end, he reaches the supreme.
And at the end, attains the supreme. At the end, attains the supreme. You see, we're making it easier. We're not even reading the whole thing. Just that bit. So you remember, Krishna will take you if you work for him. Okay, now we have one of the most interesting chapters. Okay, the title of chapter 9? Most confidential knowledge. I'm going to say something that you never heard. If you haven't watched the video that we have on YouTube. Chapter 9. You have confidential knowledge? Everyone looks a little worried. Let's pacify, let's reassure you. You all have confidential knowledge. Okay? Those confidential knowledge that you have are called passwords. You have email? You have Facebook? Huh? Do you? Yes. Would you give me those confidential knowledge? No. Assertively, no. No. Now, that's okay. But you have most confidential knowledge. See, Prabhupada explains in those purposes, there's confidential knowledge, there's more confidential knowledge, and there's most confidential knowledge. This is the most confidential knowledge. You know what's your most confidential knowledge? No skeletons in the closet. No, that kind of things. Your most confidential knowledge in terms of password, what it is? Social Security number? Yes. ATM. ATM, you call them ATM here, right? Yeah. Would you give me your bank account password? No. Most confidential. Nobody touches that. Yes or no? Huh? One Mataji, I remember we were in Bangalore, and she says, I'll give you, Prabhu. I'm sure she didn't have much. I said, no, it's okay, you can keep it. So chapter 9 is Krishna's password. And you all know that password. Krishna already said it. Many times he says that. Okay? And what's that password? 6-letter word in Sanskrit. Bhakti. Every time you go to ATM, remember what chapter? Chapter Bhakti. Chapter 9. Every time you key in a password, and you have many, for your phone, for this, for that, every time you have something to do with a password, remember chapter 9, Bhakti. Krishna says, I'll give you my password, you have everything. You have everything. Okay? What's the next chapter title? The opulence of the Absolute. Okay? So Bhakti is the password for chapter 9. In chapter 10, we find something very interesting. The Bhagavad Gita is like a mountain with 2 peaks. Chapter 9 and 10, these are the peak. Why chapter 10? Because in chapter 10 we find the 4 essential verses. If you don't want to read the 700 verses, no problem. Just read those 4. Chaturshloki, they're called in Sanskrit. Just read those 4. Now, in those 4, something very amazing is described. You may have not heard this before. Maybe, but maybe you have. Anyhow, in chapter 10, we find something really, really amazing. Krishna reveals what's the most precious opulence he has. Okay? What's the most precious opulence he has? Guess which one is it? The living beings. His devotees. Thank you. His devotees. In chapter 10, he talks about Chaturslokis, right? The first verse, half of that verse, he talks about himself. The 3.5 verses remaining, he talks about them, the devotees. What do they do? What do they talk? What do they feel? Right? What's their exchange that they have? Okay, so in chapter 10, our boss will tell us about the toys. You know, like rich people have bicycle and motorbike and jet and jets and limousines and all these sort of things. So he says, yeah, I have all these things. But what's the importance of that? The most important thing in chapter 10 is bhaktas, the devotees. Right? This is the most important thing. You don't have time to read the 700 verses? I'm sure you don't have time. Read those 4. Okay? Just read those 4. Huh? Save you a lot of confusion. Chapter 10. Okay, moving on. Chapter 11, it's called the universal form. This is an amazing thing about Krishna. Now we have the boss in front of us. He tells us what he's going to pay us. He offers something that no one can compete with. He's giving us his password. He's telling us that we can become some of his dearest opulences. Right? And the boss has a form. Right? He says, oh, my company has offices in South Africa, and Taipei, in New York, and Melbourne, and this and that, and everywhere. He's everywhere. That's what the form that he's showing. Universal form. Everything is there. Correct? So you're thinking, wow, impressive. All right? But then he says, no, no, no. Show me that other form. That's the boss form. 4 arms. He has 2 more arms, extra arms than you, so you have to be careful, right? You know, he has assistants and bodyguards and all that. He's the boss. Nobody boxes with that, right? That's the Narayan form. But imagine if your boss tells you, you know, Sunday, next Sunday, can you come around my place about 10:30 or so? You get worried, right? You get a little worried. What's going to happen? He's going to fire me, or he's going to, you know, what's going to happen? So you get there, he's in his shorts and thongs, right? T-shirt. And he says, you know, actually you're a nice fellow. I don't want to be only your boss. I want to be your friend. Okay? So that's the form, 2-handed form, Syam Sundar form. Krishna wants us not only to work with him, that sounds a little, right? He's offering us a job and many, many benefits, but he wants more than anything to reestablish that friendship with us. Okay? These are the 3 forms. Krishna is a person. Finally, chapter 12. Chapter 12 refers to devotional service. Anyone here in the corporate world? Anyway, you're in America, so you would know this. What are the KPIs? KPIs. Key Performance Indicator. My Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj, is Krishna Prema Indicator. KPI. KPI. In chapter 12, Krishna gives us a contract. And the KPI and everything, the assessment, evaluation levels are there. There, if you read the last 3 or 4 verses of chapter 12, which is, by the way, one of the shortest, 20 verses only. He tells us how can we become dear to Krishna? How can we become more dear to Krishna? And how can we become very, very dear to Krishna? How we can become the dearest worker of all. Right? So the boss is telling you how can you become an excellent. You know, those evaluations you have, average, below average, above average, right? I don't know the other terms, you know. But excellent, you have generally you have excellent. Generally nobody marks you as excellent, just so they make you work harder. Okay? Until you get retired. So, that's it. That's the job interview. By the way, I forgot to mention, by chapter 10, Arjuna accepts the job. In chapter 10, he presents prayers, and he accepts. I accept what you said. You know, like when you go to these companies or offices like that, and then you have the portraits of previous presidents and people like that, you know. So it happens the same in this job interview. Arjuna says, so many others have accepted that, have accepted the job. Who? Asita, Narada, Devala, Vyasa, you know, all these people here. Yeah, I accept too. I signed the contract. That happens in chapter 10. So you got the contract, and now we really, really have to put, you know, fifth gear. You accept the job, and we moved on to the third section. And the third section is called the prison house, the material world. You got the job, Monday, 8 o'clock, you have to be there in the office. But something happens on the weekend, right? What's your car made? Brand? Honda, what color? Huh? Silver. Silver. Okay. On the weekend, what's your name, Prabhu? Brindavan. What a name. Sorry, I'm going to use, is that okay? Yes. Hope I don't abuse you. So, it happens that on the weekend there was an accident. Hit and run. Right? You know what that means. It was a Honda or Hyundai? Honda. Silver color. Okay? Asian looking driver. You're in trouble. Somebody thought that may have been you. The police comes, I don't know here, but anyway, I use this example in India. And then you know what Indian system means. If they take you to jail, that could be, many lifetimes to get you out, right? The legal system there, it's pretty, transcendental. That means that it could last for, court cases go for it. It's true. Generations after generations. It's true. I'm not making it up. So, you are put into prison. No, but I'm a nice person. It wasn't me. Whatever. Just you come with us. Come with us. So, chapter 13. It's called Nature, Enduring, and Caring. It's too philosophical for us. Too philosophical. What does that mean? I'm going to make it very, very easy and fast. Chapter 13, Nature, Enduring, and Consciousness. This is the example. You are in jail. Vrindavan Das Prabhu, Krishna forbids, ends up in jail. But you signed a contract already. With that name, you're hired. And Krishna comes, your boss comes and says, you know what? I'm such a nice boss that I'm going to act as your lawyer. Apart from all what I do, I'm going to act as your lawyer. Would you like that? For free. 24/7. Would you like that? Yeah. That's exactly what he does. Chapter 8, it's about Krishna being, you say the Lord in the heart. We call it the lawyer in the heart. Paramatma. In chapter 13, deals mostly with the presence of Krishna in your heart. He says, I will be the observer. I forgot the Sanskrit now. Upadrasta. I'm going to be the witness. I'm going to be the permitter, he says. Right? I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be your advocate. I'm going to get you out. Don't worry, Vrindavan Das Prabhu. I'm going to get you out. That's Krishna's offer. I'll get you out from this prison. Okay, chapter 4. What's the title? 3 modes. So Krishna, you know, especially those who reside here in this area, Krishna is very playful. Yeah, he plays tricks. He likes that. So he comes and says, you know, I'm going to show you that, you know, in India, every window has bars. I have some reason. I don't know. Every window, everywhere you find bars. So in prison house, you have 3 bars, 3 types of bars. And Krishna is going to show you how to cut them. Okay? That's the message of chapter 14. How to cut them. Especially the mode of goodness one. You look for that one, that's easy to cut. Okay? So Krishna is going to show us how to cut the modes. And then we can be free again. Chapter 15. What's it called? The Yoga of the Supreme. Is that what it is? The Yoga of the Supreme Person. Yes, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. What basically chapter 15 is? Krishna brings the Vedas. And the Vedas act like escape plan. You know, there's the stories. I know in Chicago there's a lot of stories with jail. Has an infamous tradition. Al Capone and his associates, isn't it? So there's a lot of jail stories, leelas here, right? So basically the Vedas is like a map or like a plan where it tells you where are the guards and the towers and the entry and the tubes and the channels and all what you have to do in order to escape. This is the escape plan. So that's chapter 15. If you don't believe me, forgot your name, Prabhu. Iskcon Krishna, Prabhu. If you don't believe me, you can read text 15. So this one is easy. 15:15. Okay? Like that. The other ones are the last verses. 15:15. You want to read? Go for it.
I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas.
Okay, so it's all about the Vedas. Chapter 15 is all about the Vedas. Okay, chapter 16, you are in the prison. Anyone here been in prison? Don't tell me. You are recorded. Right? Chapter 16, it's called Divine and Demoniac. And all what Krishna is saying is that in this prison, there are the goodies and the baddies. Or the baddies and the not too baddies. The divine and the demoniac. And he is emphasizing, or the warning about the demoniac. That nature that you shouldn't associate with. The thing that you have to really work on. Why? Because if you're in jail, if you associate with the baddies, then what happens? Your sentence could be extended. If you associate with the goodies, right, you may be exempted. You may be given parole and all these sort of things. Okay, so that's simple. 16, the inmates. All right, chapter 17, what's the title? Divisions of faith. Again, very difficult to explain in 1 or 2 lines, 1 or 2 minutes. How are you going to explain that? Divisions of faith basically means this. Sometimes people go to jail. Remember, that's an analogy. We're in jail. And some people have some influences, and then they can make their jail very comfortable. They have plasma screen, and they have different benefits, etc., etc. Yeah? You know that, no? I'm sure it also happened here. So Krishna is telling, don't get too comfortable here. Divisions of faith means that. Don't get too comfortable here. Everything is polluted by the modes. Everything, it's prison. Within the prison, this is not comfortable. So in chapter 17, Krishna gives us the key to the jail. And what is that key? The key is the easiest way to get out of the jail, isn't it? Just get the key, run. Don't look back, just run. So he gave us a key. What's that key? It's in the last 4 verses. And it's a 3, don't read it, it's just for you. In the last 4 verses, Krishna talks about a 3-worded mantra key. This is not key made of metal or plastic or electronic or all those things. 3-worded mantra. And you know it, but you may have forgot it. Remember? Something hit your head, your amnesia. What is those 3-worded mantra? Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat is amazing, actually. If we read those last 4 verses and you read the purports, the Prabhupada explains, everything is there. Om Tat Sat basically means this. I'm just going to make it easy. Everything belongs to the Lord, thus everything should be offered to the Lord. If you do that, if you live by that, you're free. That's the key. Okay? Now, we're finishing because we're already late. Chapter 18. You're calling your lawyer, you know, no credit, no charge. The lawyer doesn't pick up the phone. Somehow you cannot connect with the lawyer. Prison bar, you're not too much of a handy. All your life working in IT, yeah? So you don't do much of a handy work. Right? Escape plan, you don't know how to read maps. Okay? So where is north, south? You get all confused. Inmates, you know, when your mother tells you, don't hang out with those kids in school, what you generally did? Go and hang out with those kids. It happens here in the material world too. Prison key, I'm not a Vedic guy, I don't know mantras, I don't know this Om Tat Sat thing, you know, so it's not working for me. So chapter 18, basically Krishna is saying this: if nothing works, okay? If nothing works, just follow me. Okay, just follow me. Just follow me. You know, like in India, every so often light goes off, right? You know, electricity. So, but somebody has a torchlight. Somebody knows the way. Just follow me. So Krishna says, Sarva dharmam parityaja. Mam ekam, only me. Mam ekam sharanam braja. Braja means what? You have the Sanskrit there? 1866. 1866. Can you translate braja? Go. That's what Krishna is saying. Go. Go, go, go. Now's the time. I'm opening the doors for you. Go. Braja. Go to Braja. Gaur Govinda Maharaj used to say. Go to Braja. Braja. Just follow me. Okay? Don't worry. Right? Can you read the whole thing?
Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear.
Okay? So this is our Krishna, who reminds us who we are, what is our identity, what's our job, what's our qualification, what we're really looking after, what's our way of thinking, you know, like baby steps, ABC. He tells us he's the boss. He tells us what we're going to get in this deal. Right? He gives us his password. He gives us everything. He gives himself to us if we have bhakti. Right? He shows all what he has. And he shows his most precious opulence, his devotees. He shows his different forms. He shows how to get there. If you cannot do that, he says in chapter 12, just do that. And if you cannot do that, just do that. Imagine such a nice boss. Read that chapter. It's only 20 verses. Right? But you are in trouble. For some reason, I know you're a good person, but you ended up in jail. We all are good people, yes? But we are here. This is a prison house. Not here, but in this material world, this body. So Krishna says, I'll be your lawyer, 24/7. What's that called? Pro bono. Pro bono means for free. Correct? 24/7. I'll show you how can you cut the bars. I'll show you the map. the plan of this world, of this prison house. I'll tell you with whom you should and you shouldn't associate with. I'll give you the key. I'll give you the concept. Open and go. And if anything fails, just surrender it unto me and follow me. Shut up and be happy. Okay? Stop your... Yeah? So this is Bhagavad Gita. Now, if we can present it in a simple way, I'm sure that's our experience when we travel, we present it, and many people feel attracted to study a little bit more. We have many, many things. We have Gita Olympics, we have different things. If we would have more time or we would have other sessions, we could do that. You know, we do teams and which is the longest chapter, which is the example, where is the example of the turtle, where is the example of the banyan tree, and then you are playing like that, you know. So Gita doesn't have to be a boring, big, boring book, right, that I keep it in the shelf and I haven't read it for the last 14 years, you know. It could be a book that has a lot of interesting things for us on a regular basis. For us, for the children, for the friends, for everyone. Okay, we stop here because I want to honor my word when I say that we want to finish on time and we're already late. If you have any questions or comments, we have some CDs. Gopal also has a booklet that, I'm sorry, my name is in the front because it is all Prabhupada's translation. And what we did is we have a questionnaire, a generic questionnaire, meaning the same questionnaire for all the chapters. It's the same questionnaire for all the chapters. Okay? Where is north, where is south, where is east, where is west? All the chapters, all the suburbs. The same analysis. How it starts, how it begins, how long it is, what's the essence, what's the example, what is the question of Arjuna, what is Krishna's answer. The same example. So we brought some CDs and some books. If someone is interested, we can accept a donation. Okay, any questions about this? Was it too fast? Was it too... Yes? Pace, good pace. Yes, thank you for your help. Okay, we stop here. Question? We have the...
Hare Krishna,
Hari
Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Andavats.
Prabhu, from your presentation, I was trying to get more clarity on the differences between chapter 15 and chapter 17. For me, there seems to be like a more correlation, and I'm of the understanding that chapter 17 is more specific, more detailed or more specific version of chapter 15. So can you elaborate on that?
In fact, many of these chapters are quite connected. Particularly chapter 14 and 17 are very much connected. Why? Because in these chapters, I mean, you mentioned 15, but chapter 14, for example, talks about the modes. And in chapter 17, there's different categories of actions and situations according to the modes. And in fact, in chapter 18, also you have the similar assessment. Everything, charity, penance, renunciation, work, happiness, food, according to the modes, right? So, yes, chapter 15 basically, you see, it's a very short chapter. Chapter 15 and 12 are the shortest chapters, 20 verses only. But chapter 17 explains more about what happens. This is the thing. This whole last section, it's about the Vedas, following the Vedas. In chapter 17, this is what Arjuna asked. If somebody wants to worship, that's the word he used, wants to worship, but doesn't want to follow the Vedas and follow just their imagination, in which mode are they? What is it? That's why it's called divisions of faith. You have faith, but you have faith in a brick or in a goat or in a, you know, what is that faith? Right? In India particularly, you find a lot of that. And people make their own thing. But I don't want to carry this Vedic principle. I don't want to follow the Veda. Okay? So, the idea is that Krishna explains what happens, what's the result if they're in ignorance, if they're in passion, like that. And then he glorifies goodness. Out of the three modes, he glorifies goodness. So chapter 17, yes, is quite detailed, and part of chapter 18 as well. It's like a continuation, like that. So, yes? You had your hand up? Does that help a little?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Very kind. Okay, so any other questions or comments about this? Prabhu, sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
I just wanted to express that the way you took us through the three sections, it's a very delightful way of
Thank you.
knowing
Coming
Bhagavad
from you?
Gita. Thank you. No, I really thoroughly, it was delightful because not only the different chapters have the names, regardless of what the titles are, just the, we're so used to thinking as three sections, karma, jnana, and bhakti, but to see this from a different angle, is very delightful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel very nourished.
Oh.
And
I forgot.
like Bhagavad Gita.
I forgot. Remember what I said in the beginning? The purpose of this session is that you feel encouraged to read, learn, remember, and maybe present Gita at least a little bit more. So, does anybody feel a little more encouraged to read? My son records each of the chapter summaries in 10 minutes or less. And sometimes I mess up and then I have to record twice or thrice. And I'm always amazed because every time I do it, and every time I do these presentations, he's there and he's attentive. And I'm thinking, okay, it's working. I mean, it's not me, it's Krishna. Because Gita is not different than Krishna. And this is the potency of Prabhupada that brought us the Gita. And he won the Gita for everyone. So although we do it again and again, correct? We do it again and again. It's always so pleasurable to discuss Gita. And sometimes I do it by myself. I'm there and the camera is there and I'm doing it and we get into it. And it's very pleasurable. Bhaktisiddhanta told Srila Prabhupada. Was it Bhaktisiddhanta? No. Was it? Bhaktisiddhanta told Prabhupada. What if nobody wants to takes the message? He says, preach to the walls. And that's exactly what Prabhupada did. One day he put the recorder on, he started recording, and that's the introduction that you have in the Bhagavad Gita. So it works, even if we talk to the walls. Okay? So thank you very much. You are very, very kind. I'm really moved by your hospitality and your support. I find this as a gift. Your eyes tell a lot, and this is very, very, encouraging for us. We are just starting our tour around America by the grace of Ramapat Maharaj. We'll go to actually 7 temples. 5 temples we do some training, but this is it's a happy place. Chicago, it's a happy place. Krishna Kishori, Kishori, sorry, and their devotees and their prasadam. It's a very, very appealing way. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Iksvaku Prabhu ki jai. Just wanted to thank you so much, Prabhu, for taking the effort to come here. I know you've been teaching this VLC seminar all weekend and must be very tired, but this is the break. But it was I really appreciated the whole presentation, very creative, engaging, easy and fun, and I think it's very nice for new people, very relatable. So thank you so much, Prabhu.